Preakness is finally here. I'm Olivia Danson. Coming up next, I'll take you live to Pimlico where final preparations are underway.
And I am tracking a weather maker today. I'll explain exactly when the showers arrive from this and what it means for all your Preakness plans in a couple of minutes.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 Morning News.
Good morning to you. Looking live over Towson. It is a foggy start to your morning, but we're celebrating the Preakness Stakes today on May 20th. I'm Taylor Stewart. Thanks for being with us. Let's get right on over to your forecast. Meteorologist Amy Aronson, what are we expecting today?
Yeah, unfortunately, we are tracking a little bit of rain. So we are tracking a new weather maker that's going to be pushing in from the west. But before that even gets here, we've got this batch of showers actually sitting off to our south and east. We are sandwiched between two different storm systems. And the result for us is some mist and some fog this morning, at least to start. Here's a look at your visibility. We are tracking some fog right now in most locations. We're down to 1 mile in Carroll County, down through Howard County and actually into Anne Arundel County too, where some spots in that lighter gray are dropping down to a ½ mile visibility. So if you're running some errands before heading out to Preakness today, or maybe getting ready to pack up and head to Pimlico, be prepared for some reduced visibilities. As we head through the rest of the day, we are looking at more clouds than sun with that chance for some rain showers. Looks like they'll mainly be confined to the late afternoon, early evening hours. Otherwise, it's going to be a really nice warm day there. Temperatures will be warming through the 60s into the 70s and getting awfully close to 80 degrees later this afternoon. And the rest of the weekend actually looks much drier. So coming up in 10 minutes, we'll take a look not only at today's rain chance in more detail, but we'll look ahead at what to expect for your Sunday too. Taylor?
Sounds good. And you know that sound. Today is the running of the 148th Preakness Stakes. We want to go live to Pimlico this morning. Olivia Dance is there giving us a look at everything this year has to offer. Olivia, break it all down for us.
Well, good morning, Taylor. I'm ready to go. I have my fascinator on, and final preparations are underway. We're actually in the grandstands right now, and they're grooming the track. So really, we're ramping up leading up to the race. So I want to go ahead and bring in Callie. She's the lead handicapper here. Thanks so much for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me. I would say it's not a bad morning. It could be a lot worse than what we have.
It could be downpouring. We're good.
It could
we're
be.
good. It's just a little mist.
We're in stellar fashion right now.
So we just saw they're grooming the track. Tell us just a little bit about that final process leading up to when the horses are actually going to come out here.
So this process actually is going to happen plenty of times before the undercard starts early here at Pimlico this morning. So right now we're just in between training sessions. They're typically, actually training is now closed. Training is going to be closed very soon. So we have a track break to just make sure in between horses there's a lot of traffic that goes on with a lot of these horses that are training this morning. So we're just giving the track a little bit of maintenance.
Okay, very interesting. Yeah, we're kind of getting in behind the scenes. I mean, we've been here the last 2 days and been seeing all the preparations, which has been pretty cool. But I do want to ask you, because obviously the horses are the stars of the show. So which horses are you keeping your eye out? Who do you think are the front runners?
If we're talking about Preakness, we are going to be, of course, discussing Mage, your Kentucky Derby winner, who is popping in for the big show. And then we also have National Treasure for Bob Baffert. Blazing Sevens has caught a lot of people's attention for Chad Brown, training very well, looking absolutely wonderful in the mornings here leading up to it. But my local pick is going to be Perform for Shug McGahee and jockey for Golan Shot.
Cool. And then we also know that Coffee with Chris, a local horse, so that might be another horse that people are keeping their eye out for. As far as betting, though, that's obviously a big part of this.
Yes.
Tips and tricks for people who are going to be betting for the first time this year.
Okay, so you want to have two different budgets. You want to have an undercard budget, and then you want to have a Preakness race budget. So
race weekend. Are there any other additional safety measures the department will have in place? And how will BPD ensure the safety of residents and those visiting Baltimore? Questions about safety when so many will be watching.
That's because you do have to look out for the Preakness and the folks that come here to, spend their money and enjoy themselves.
Stick with Fox 45 News all morning long. We're going to continue to follow the 148th running of the Preakness Stakes. Coming up at 7:30, we'll head back out to Pimlico and check on those preparations with Olivia. Still ahead this morning, Baltimore County is seeing a massive spike in car thefts. How the police department is taking proactive measures.
And we're starting off a little misty, a little foggy this morning, but I am tracking a weather maker that's actually going to bring us these showers by the end of the day. I've got an updated look at exactly when they arrive and what they mean for your Preakness plans in a couple of minutes. It's 7:09. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News.
All right, looking ahead this morning, the Ravens will host 2 preseason practices with the Washington Commanders heading into their preseason matchup. According to the team's website, the teams will hold the joint practices Tuesday, August 15th and Wednesday, August 16th at the Under Armour Performance Center in Owings Mills. The following Monday, August 21st, the 2 teams will face off in the second week of the preseason games at the FedEx Field in Landover. Now, this is the 4th time the Ravens are hosting joint practices. They've also hosted the Jacksonville Jaguars, Los Angeles Rams, and the San Francisco 46ers. Stick with us. Still ahead this morning, the Baltimore Police Department taking proactive measures to stop an uptick in carjackings. Their efforts as the nation as a whole sees a spike. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning. All right, many of us will visit Old Hilltop today to enjoy the excitement of live thoroughbred racing for one day. Well, for others, it's a year-long obsession. The Pons family has been one in our area, leading breeders for almost a century. Country Life Farm is now making the sport of kings attainable for the average fan, though, through partial ownership. Our Director of Operations, Jimmy Mathis, has the story.
Country Life Farm, our home farm, this will be the 91st year this fall. My grandfather bought it in 1933, moved his family down from Long Island, kept his place not far from Belmont Park. He would commute back and forth to Long Island from Bel Air, Maryland. I'm so tickled that Maj, the Derby winner, came because he's a genuine horse. Sold at Timonium a year ago, which is really cool. And he's a poster child for the micro ownership. There's 400 owners in this horse.
Well done. Venezuelan Javier Castellano, a Derby winner.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. And my best clients come out, they participate. They come to the farm, watch the horses train. They come out to see the mares with the foals.
Hit her off.
They go to the races with us. They go to the sales. We go out of town for the races. So it's one of these kind of things where you start and where you end up. I hope we're two different places, but we had a lot of fun over the year. And it's just fun because for that 2 minutes or however long the race is, that's my horse out there. Here's my money. Oh, it's like graduation day. It's like your kid graduated kindergarten or elementary school or high school. It's fun. And what's really neat is I've got some clients who are just lucky. So I can't wait till they get these partner in certain horses because I just know something's good going to happen. Winston Churchill said, you know, there's something about the outside of a horse that's good for the inside of a person. And to paraphrase him. Oh, and what's really cool is years ago I went to business school and I went with accountants and lawyers and bankers and all those guys, and I'm the only guy doing the same job now as them.
Okay, if you're heading out to the Preakness today, we really want to see how you're celebrating. Go ahead and send us that picture or video from Pimlico, or if you're celebrating at home, just head to Fox Baltimore/chime in, or you can scan that QR code that you see on your screen. All right, let's get over to meteorologist Amy Aronson. We've got a little bit of rain in the forecast today.
Yeah, just a little bit. We're starting off a little cool this morning, so I would certainly bring the light jacket with you if you're headed out early to Pimlico. I'd also bring a poncho, maybe throw it in your pocket. You're not going to need it most of the day, just later for the later races, and then if you are staying for the concert later tonight. I don't think you need the rain boots. Today is far from a washout, so it shouldn't be too muddy there. But I would also throw the sunglasses in your bag because we are tracking a little bit of sunshine at times, too. Hard to imagine right now because we're waking up to the mist and the fog. You can see that currently over Towson. Be prepared for some reduced visibilities if you're out and about, maybe just running some errands this morning. We are off to a cool start, upper 50s, low 60s to begin, but we are looking at another nice warm day ahead of us, much like yesterday. Here's what's happening on the weather map. We're tracking a couple of systems. One is to our south and east. That's that area of low pressure working its way up the coast. The second is that cold front to our west. What happens is we're kind of squished in between the two right now. So the result for us is what we call an onshore flow, moisture getting shoved towards us. That's resulting in the fog and the mist this morning. What's going to bring us the rain chance later on today is that cold front as that pushes in from west to east. So let's time it all out together. Little misty, little foggy this morning. That should dissipate by lunchtime. By midday, here's that sunshine breaking through the clouds and temperatures warming into the mid and actually upper 70s to near 80 degrees. And that all happens before this line of showers arrives. I think they do weaken before they reach us. Right now, Future Scan shows the rain arriving right around 7 o'clock, so that would be right around post time for the big race at Pimlico today. That's the reason why you might want to have that poncho with you. Remember, if you do happen to hear thunder out there, you want to seek shelter and find somewhere inside so you stay safe from the thunder and the lightning. Once the rain moves in, it kind of lingers for a little bit, so plan on some showers as things wrap up at Pimlico tonight and for that concert, too. We are drier by tomorrow morning. We're starting off comfy again in the mid and upper 50s. As we head through the afternoon, tons of sunshine. So tomorrow looks much different. No need to worry about any rain. We'll spend the afternoon in the low 70s, and we get into the upper 70s again by the end of the day. So a little bit of everything this weekend. Little foggy, little cloudy this morning. Some rain shows up this evening and for the first part of tonight. Still warm today with highs in the upper 70s. Tomorrow's the brighter and the drier day. Also staying nice and warm with high temperatures still in the upper 70s. Beyond the weekend, we've actually got a really quiet 7-day forecast ahead of us. Not really tracking any rain chances beyond today. We'll spend Monday close to 80 degrees too, mid-70s on Tuesday, and then a stretch of the 70s. That's actually going to take us through the second half of the week. Not tracking any weather makers Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday with high temperatures hanging out right around where they should be. That leads us into Memorial Day weekend on Friday. I can't believe it. We're in the mid-70s to start things off. Taylor?
All right, let's go ahead and check your traffic. The Lynn Stiller Traffic Network. We're looking at those live cameras throughout the Baltimore region. Everything's moving smoothly so far. We'll keep you updated on this Preakness Stakes Day. Now, let's go ahead. Oh, all right, just ahead, some more good news for crab lovers. The new report that's shining a light on the population in the Chesapeake Bay. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning. All right, we're back, and we're taking you live to Pimlico this morning as preparations are underway for that big race later today, the Super Bowl of Baltimore, honestly. But coming up in just a few minutes, Olivia Dan's going to join us live again with more on the celebration. And if you're heading out today, of course, we want to see how you're celebrating. Go ahead, scan that QR code, send us your pictures and your videos. Turning now to counties under pressure, a staggering spike in juvenile car theft sends Baltimore County detectives into overdrive. And Fox 45 is getting an inside look. Fox 45's News' Jeff Abel joined detectives on patrol. He takes us inside the war to put the brakes on car thieves.
Well, a huge spike in car thefts in Baltimore County has revealed one alarming statistic, that many of those who steal cars aren't even old enough to drive them.
For Detective Justin Warnick, it's a crisis that only a trained eye can see.
Most of the time it's coming down to my eyes, looking at a car, saying something's not right.
Warnick has spent a decade with the Regional Auto Theft Task Force, a team of officers who spend their time searching for stolen vehicles.
Or maybe it has a donut on the car, or maybe the seatbelts are buckled behind the driver.
But what he's found lately is a crisis unlike any he's ever seen. In Baltimore County, The number of juveniles arrested for stealing cars has soared 543% this year, compared to the first 5 months of last year. And wherever there's a stolen car, often, he says, there's a stolen gun.
Basically used as a murder car. They're just used basically for the sole purpose of going out and committing murders.
The problem, according to Warnick, lies not only with absentee parents, but with the juvenile justice system, a system which he believes is allowing juvenile delinquents to become career criminals.
It's a revolving door for the juveniles. And unfortunately, as soon as we're done our paperwork and the parents come to pick up these kids, they're usually back on the street and they're committing crime either the very same night or the next day.
Despite repeated warnings, Warnick says owners are helping thieves by leaving their parked vehicles unlocked and the keys within reach. Few of them ever anticipating that their car could soon become the next getaway car.
Detectives say one way to ensure your car never gets stolen is to own one of these, an anti-theft device. Even though thieves may manage to start your car, they won't be able to steer it. Jeff Abel, Fox 45 News.
Korean car makers Kia and Hyundai have agreed to a $200 million settlement over claims their vehicles are too easy to steal. The class action settlement could benefit as many as 9 million vehicle owners whose vehicles were stolen. Meanwhile, a group of conservative state delegates are criticizing Baltimore City Mayor Brendan Scott's decision to join a lawsuit against the car makers over their claims that the vehicles are too easy to steal. The lawmakers sent a letter saying city leaders aren't doing enough to stop the recent spike in car thefts. In that letter, the lawmakers call for the mayor, Baltimore police, and local prosecutors to increase clearance rates in stolen car cases and hand down severe punishments to those who are stealing cars, rather than put the blame on manufacturers. Still ahead, good news when it comes to the state of the Chesapeake Bay and the new report on the overall crab population just in time for summer. Plus, our Preakness Saturday starting out a little cloudy here. Meteorologist Amy Aronson is going to let us know when we'll see the rain this afternoon. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 Morning News.
And this is going to be a great day despite the fog. Thanks for being with us this Saturday, May 20th. I'm Taylor Stewart. Let's get over to your forecast because that's what matters. Meteorologist Amy Aronson. It's Preakness Stakes Day. What are we talking about in terms of the weather?
Yeah, it could be much worse. Not a washout at all. We've had years like that. We've also had really, really hot years like last year. This year looks pretty typical. We are starting off with some mist and fog this morning. We've actually got an area of low pressure offshore that's shoving some rain onshore. So that's currently the case across the bay along the eastern shore. But I don't think these showers will reach us. We're just dealing with the mist and the fog this morning, reducing visibilities a little bit and keeping us gray. Otherwise, we're off to a comfy start. Lots of upper 50s to near 60-degree temperatures to begin, so not bad for a Saturday morning. And it's not really pouring right now, so you don't need the rain jacket if you're headed out to Preakness early. It's going to be later today that we throw in a better chance for rain. You're also up against that fog. We're down to 1 mile visibility right now if you're just west of Baltimore. So traveling through spots like Westminster, Columbia, and Laurel, even down towards Annapolis, be prepared for some reduced visibilities there. If you are headed out to Preakness nice and early this morning, it's cloudy to begin. I'd bring a light jacket with you. We've got temperatures in the 60s to start, and we stay in the upper 60s through the end of the morning. This afternoon, we're tracking that chance for some showers along with some warmer temperatures. I'll take you through the rest of the day in just about 10 minutes. Taylor?
All right, you know what that sounds means. The horses are awful. Not yet. Today is the 148th Preakness Stakes, though, and we want to take you live to Pimlico, where Olivia Dance is giving us a look at everything this year has to offer. Olivia.
Hey, good morning, Taylor. Yeah, Preakness is finally here. There's been a lot leading up to this, so we're all so excited that it's here. I have my fascinator on. They're actually grooming the track right now, so the horses will eventually come out here, but still final preparations are underway, and the gates open to the public at 9 o'clock. So that, of course, brings security to top of mind, and I want to bring in Major Mike Singletary. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Now, you are the head of security here at Pimlico, so tell us just about what the safety and security precautions that are in place this year.
So we just want to share with our guests as they come onto the property. We have all security checks at every control point between mags, wanding, bag checks. We want to send them to Preakness.com to look at what's prohibited, what's permitted. Of course, no camelbacks, no backpacks. Pocketbooks is always an interest, at least 18 by 18, 20 by 20. No large beach style bags. No lawn chairs, no umbrellas. They are able to bring in maybe a small bottle of water. But if they go to Preakness.com, they'll be able to see all of those items.
Yeah, so they can see the full list. So you obviously advising everyone to just check that list before they head out, make sure they're good. And then when they get here, they can expect a couple security checkpoints, right?
Absolutely, around the entire facility.
All right, and let's talk about just tips and tricks, because there's going to be a lot of people coming here kind of all at the same time. So as far as parking, just getting here early, what do you have to offer that maybe can help people out?
I think parking is the most important point here. Is if we have an Uber and Lyft rideshare off of Rogers Avenue and Northern Parkway. So if you don't want to drive because parking is limited, you can Uber and Lyft to that rideshare. But just pay attention to the parking flags coming in. If you go back to the Preakness.com and go to the parking site, it'll show you how to get to all of those different locations, especially for your guest experience getting onto the property. So go to Preakness.com.
Okay.
You can look at that information.
You heard it right here. You got to go to Preakness.com. Make sure you check that out before you head out to Pimlico, and everything should be pretty smooth sailing after that. But thank you so much for joining us, and I'll send it back to you, Taylor.
Some necessary tips, because this race is expected to draw tens of thousands of people to Pimlico, which comes with a big boost to Baltimore's economy. Rebecca Pryor joins us with just how much the city is expected to benefit from tourism. Rebecca.
Yeah, Preakness is more than just a treasured tradition. It's also a massive moneymaker for the city. From our restaurants to our hotels, thousands of people will be spending millions of dollars in Baltimore this weekend.
Take 20 on 7 to win.
Between the experienced high-stakes gamblers.
I have a friend that gives me what he thinks, and he's doing very well today.
Let's get a winner here.
To those just playing it safe.
I only spent about $60 today. I don't bet much money.
The rash of racing fans descending on Pimlico this weekend has local economists betting the Baltimore region will bank close to $50 million this weekend.
Hey, this is our Super Bowl every year.
Adding to the excitement and likely upping spending.
Winner, chicken dinner here.
14-time Grammy Award winner Bruno Mars set to take the stage at Preakness Live, as well as Triple Crown hopeful Mage, seen in his stall this afternoon, prepped and ready to take on the track.
And we have the Kentucky Derby winner racing in this race, so that adds to the intrigue.
I think we're going to have a great day.
Craig Frevel, the executive vice chairman of First racing and gaming, saying ticket sales are way up compared to turnout during COVID. Back in 2020, no fans were allowed on the grounds, and in 2021, the absence of infield festivities, capping attendance to just 10,000 people. Finally, in 2022, a slight rebound with 42,000 people back at Pimlico. As for this year, no hard numbers yet, but we do know organizers seem satisfied.
We're really happy with our ticket sales compared to last year. We're running a little bit up on those.
Still, nowhere near the 130,000 fans drawn in during pre-pandemic years, many blaming the slow recovery on a lack of investment in Pimlico's aging infrastructure. It's now been 3 years since state lawmakers approving $375 million for facility upgrades meant to keep the Preakness in Baltimore. The vice president of the Maryland Stadium Authority previously promising to break ground on construction in the coming months.
I'd say late summer of 23 and completed by Preakness 26.
But now, a report sent to lawmakers earlier this year revealing that's no longer the case. The Stadium Authority writing, quote, "This timetable is no longer realistic." Fravel blaming pandemic-related supply chain issues and inflation on the delays.
Since then, we've had COVID. Since the law was adopted, we've had a situation where interest rates have practically tripled, which affects the amount of bond financing available.
The prolonged pause on redevelopment sending a pivotal jewel in horse racing's history running towards an uncertain future.
I actually can't give you a timeline. It's, there's a lot of work to be done.
I wish they would make up their mind what they're going to do and get it done.
And putting the annual boost to Baltimore's economy on the line.
Pimlico needs a makeover.
Fox 45 has also sent multiple interview requests to the Maryland Stadium Authority asking to discuss this redevelopment project's progress, but all of those requests have been denied. In Baltimore City, Rebecca Pryor, Fox 45 News.
If you're heading out to Preakness, we want to see how you are celebrating, and we want to see your fashion. Go ahead, snap a picture or video, send it to us at foxbaltimore.com/chime-in, or you can scan that QR code on your screen. We're following reports of an armed man in Severn. It's had residents on edge for days. Now, Governor Wes Moore is speaking out on this situation. Fox 45 Vincent Hill reports those comments may only be fueling the debate further.
Yeah, a back and forth between the governor and a man who says he's just standing up for his rights, now leading to several people with guns around school-age kids. In Severn, concerns of a man armed with an AR-15 as kids are getting off the bus.
It was just chaos. He was standing at the bus stop talking to the children. They all ran off.
But it's not a threat of an active shooter, and he's doing it right in front of police while they can't do anything about it.
All these cops here, somebody else is in real danger right now. You know that, right?
Jaden McAdory legally carrying a rifle and protesting Senate Bill 1. Signed into law by Governor Wes Moore on Tuesday. McAdory telling Fox 45 he's reached out to the governor personally.
I mean, I tried reaching out to him. I sent him an email. He didn't respond.
However, the governor responding in a statement about the protest, which reads in part, "We need partnership, not shallow acts of cowardice and intimidation."
I think his comments draw a lot of attention to it.
Political analyst John Deedy says the governor's response, which appears personal, will only add fuel to the fire.
And I think, that can create a situation where all of a sudden you have other people in other communities deciding, I'm going to try the same type of action.
And lead to more armed people protesting Senate Bill 1.
The concern with drawing attention to it is it leads other people to do copycat type of stuff.
That's exactly what happened. McAdory joined by another man armed with a shotgun.
What are they doing? What are they doing?
And across the street,
I came out here with my weapon to be the anti-version of what they are.
Louis Bracey says he's a sensible gun owner protesting what McAdory is doing.
These are weapons designed for war. Weapons of war that kill multiple people.
Fox 45 asking Bracey what makes him any different while being armed in public since Senate Bill 1 is now law.
I only have 9 rounds here.
You do a lot of damage with 9 rounds.
If I was out here to do some purpose.
Meanwhile, McAdory says he's not intimidated by the governor's comments and will continue to exercise his right to carry while he can.
If he wants to talk to me, he can. But I mean, until he knows the full story, I don't want to hear nothing he has to say.
Now, it should be noted that even once Senate Bill 1 goes into effect in October, he can actually still carry that AR-15 because Senate Bill 1 focuses on wear and carry, which involves handguns. In Baltimore, Vincent Hill, Fox 45 News.
There are newer recommendations for screening with breast cancer for younger women. I'm Liz Bonus. Why survivors say there are a few things we all should know about them. It is just ahead.
And we're starting off foggy this morning with some showers showing up later today. We're dry and sunny tomorrow at least, and then we've actually got a dry, warm week ahead of us. I'll break down today's rain chance and let you know what that means for your Preakness plans in just a couple of minutes. It's 7:39. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News.
All right, trending now. The Maryland Department of Natural Resources releases a new survey showing the number of blue crabs in the Chesapeake Bay has gone up. According to the Blue Crab Winter Dredge Survey, the population has grown from 227 million crabs last year to 322 million crabs this year. Officials say despite the uptick, they are continuing to remain vigilant as the number of juvenile crabs has been below the average for the past 4 years. Still ahead, police are beefing up security ahead of today's Preakness Stakes. Their plan to keep everybody safe as thousands flock to the city. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning. All right, in your headlines this morning, new recommendations for breast cancer screenings. They've just been released by the U.S. Preventative Service Task Force. Medical reporter Liz Bonas explains what radiologists say we should know about them.
Hey there, hello to you. The task force is now recommending that all women get screened every other year starting at age 40. Prior to this, the recommendation from the screening task force was age 50.
The hope is that these newer guidelines will continue to save even more lives. Jenny Dermody says her breast cancer likely would not have been detected had she not had a regular screening mammogram. Her radiologist reviewed those images right away and found
she told me that they did see a mass and that I would need to have a biopsy. So that was done on November 15th, and I found out the next day that it was invasive lobular carcinoma.
That carcinoma able to be treated with radiation successfully, but Jenny said she'd likely have never known without this early form of detection that something was wrong.
It was just shocking because I have no risk factors other than being female. I have no family history.
Dr. Margaret Mulligan, a radiologist at Ohio's Tri-Health, says these newer guidelines may not be even aggressive enough.
The USPSTF currently is recommending biennial screening, so once every 2 years, but we are recommending annual screening.
Dr. Mulligan says if you have dense breast tissue, you may also need additional testing for early detection along with a mammogram.
Very dense breasts make reading a mammogram more difficult. You can imagine trying to see something through a snowstorm. If it's very snowy, it can be hard to see things. So for that reason, MRI and ultrasound is less limited by breast density. So those are good supplements to the screening mammogram.
Dr. Mulligan says in most cases, yearly mammograms are covered by your medical insurance plans. I'm medical reporter Liz Bonas. Now back to you.
All right, taking you back live to Pimlico this morning with preparations underway for the big race. It's empty there now, but it certainly won't be later today. In just 15 minutes, Olivia Dance is going to join us live again with more on the celebrations. And we can't celebrate until we know what the weather's like. Meteorologist Amy Aronson with a look at your Preakness Stakes forecast.
Yeah, an important forecast today and a little bit of everything ahead of us. So if you're headed out to Preakness earlier or over later, it's just going to be a little cool and misty. I'd bring a light jacket with you. By this afternoon, I think we'll break out some sun. It's going to be warmer, so perfect for any afternoon festivities happening out there at the race course. By this evening, I bump it to the yellow light, and that's because I am tracking some scattered showers. So if you plan to stay out there later tonight, especially for the Bruno Mars concert, you're going to want to have a poncho with you to be prepared for some light rain. If you are headed out to Pimlico today, we want to see your Preakness pics. Send them to us, and we'll share them right here on Fox 45. Head over to foxbaltimore.com/chime in order to do that. Looks a little gray and gloomy right now down at the Inner Harbor. That's because we're starting off with some fog. We've got some fog and some mist that has developed around our area, reducing visibility a little bit. We're starting off at a comfy 60 degrees otherwise. We do have a couple of features to point out on the weather map. We've got some showers off to our south and east. They will not reach us, just the clouds and the mist this morning. But this cold front off to our west, that's what's pushing in, and that's what's going to send us that rain chance before the day is over. Now, we've got some time before it gets here. It's not even in Maryland yet, but as it heads our way, it does put southern half of our state in this general risk for thunderstorms. No severe threat today, so that's good news for anyone who plans to be out at Pimlico. But remember, if you hear thunder from any storms that develop later today, seek shelter and find somewhere inside, away from the threat of the thunder and the lightning. And that would really be our only threat with any storms that manage to develop, which I think that storm threat looks pretty slim. In terms of timing, it's not until later. We see some sun briefly break out this afternoon, and then here comes that cold front rushing in this evening. Right now, forecast model shows that pushing through Baltimore right around 6, 7 o'clock. Far from ideal for post time. Looks like it will fall apart some, but plan on some showers at that point. And then it looks like some showers will linger through about 10, 11 o'clock tonight before we dry things out tomorrow. Sunday looks drier and brighter and stays nice and warm, too, for the second half of the weekend. So for today, more clouds than sun, along with that threat for some showers and storms, mainly this afternoon and this evening. So for the first part of tonight, that's when you really got to plan on the rain. That's when you'll need to break out the poncho. Beyond that, we're in good shape tomorrow. The sunshine is back in full force with highs in the upper 70s and a long stretch of the 70s that will take us all the way through next Friday. Taylor?
All right, let's take a look at your traffic here. The Len Stoller Traffic Network giving us a live look at the Baltimore region cameras, the ones that are getting close to Pimlico. And as you can see, everything's moving smoothly this morning. We'll be sure to monitor this throughout the day. But But for a check of mass transit, we've got Mark Jones with the MTA. Good morning to you, Mark.
Well, good morning, Taylor. Good morning, everyone. If you're heading to Pimlico for the Preakness today, take MDOT MTA. Forget about parking and take advantage of the winning fares and the convenience of one of the many services on Metro Subway Link. Take that service to the Reisterstown Plaza Metro Subway Station and connect to a shuttle bus for a short ride to the racetrack. Light Rail Link is an option from north or south of the city. Take Light Rail Link to the Cold Spring Lane stop and Poly Western High School for a connecting shuttle bus to Pimlico. Local link buses 30, 31, 34, 85, 91, and 94 all stop near Pimlico. The fare for local bus, Light Rail Link, and Metro Subway Link is only $4.60 for an all-day pass. All shuttle bus service to Pimlico started at 8, and the return service 2 hours after the Preakness race. At present, Light Rail Link on time, Metro Subway Link with a 10 to 15-minute delay, and Mark Train 675 operating with a 5-minute delay. For the MTA Transit team, I'm Mark Jones.
Okay, still ahead this morning, Bob Baffert is no stranger to the big stage of Preakness. Why the trainer compares this post position to one of the Triple Crown winners in years past. That's still ahead this morning in Sports Unlimited.
Welcome into your morning sports report. I'm Rocco DeSangro. The field of horses set to run in Preakness 148 is down from 8 to 7 after First Mission was scratched yesterday due to injury. Of those 7, you have the local horse, Coffee with Chris, Kentucky Derby winner Mage, and National Treasure. That's a horse trained by Bob Baffert and running out of gate 1. And while Baffert isn't necessarily a fan of that draw, it worked for a Triple Crown winning horse he trained in the past.
I remember drawing it with American Pharoah, and everything was going so well, and then he drew the 1, and I was just fretting about it. And then after watching him turn for home, I was thinking, why did I fret all week about this, But, if you have the best horse, but we're not talking about American Pharoah here, But, I think it's still going to be a good race.
Here's the post position and the odds that are subject to change as we get closer to that 6:50 start time. On the rail, National Treasure, 4-1 odds. The long shot, Chase the Chaos in the 2-hole. The favorite, Mage, coming out of the 3. Then Coffee with Chris, Red Route 1, and Perform in the 7. Blazing 7s because it's only fitting. And First Mission, scratched from that race. It's a 6:50 post time. 11-1 odds entering the race. Taxed took the Black-Eyed Susan in upset fashion over Hoosier Philly and unbeaten FISA. This was the first win for Taxed since November of 2022 at Churchill Downs. And what a way to get it done at Pimlico. Kyle Gibson's last 3 outings have been subpar, all losses on his record, and 0 run support from the offense. But the Birds put an end to that trend against their AL East foe. O's in Toronto taking on the Blue Jays. Ryan Mountcastle bringing the run support. How about that? 3-run bomb. That's a deep one in the 3rd. And then in the 6th, Anthony Santander says, all right, I'm going to do that too. Solo shot to right makes it a 4-1 lead, and that was more than enough insurance for Gibson last night. 7 innings pitched, 1 earned. He struck out 5 as the O's beat the Blue Jays 6-2, the final score. UMBC softball opening NCAA tournament regional play in Stillwater against a very tough team from Oklahoma State. Retrievers fall in this one 9-0. They're back at it tonight at 5:30 p.m. It's only his 2nd year of high school lacrosse, but Woodlawn's Ayodeji Fadairo is the team's captain, leading scorer, and he embraces that student-athlete grind. For that, Fadairo is our prep player of the week.
The reason why we're out here at Woodlawn High School is to present our Prep Player of the Week award to Ayodeji Fadairo. Not only is he a member of the early college program, he wrestles, a multi-sport athlete, the captain of this team, and he's your leading scorer this season. So for that, Ayodeji, you are the Prep Player of the Week. Congratulations, my friend.
It's an understatement to say I love it. I started playing last year, and I just fell in love with the sport.
Honestly, I don't think he had a lot of confidence at first because, like you said, it was new.
And it didn't take long for Fadairo's confidence to build.
Over the summer, he sent me a letter on why he should be captain. So I knew I had a winner then.
Two-sport athlete, the leading scorer on the team, and a member of the early college program. He's as good in the classroom as he is on the field.
I've just completed my 9th college course, and I'm on track to graduate with my AA degree. So honestly, just being able to be given that opportunity was a blessing to me.
As far as what his future holds in this sport,
he can be up in a D1 type. He has that type of capability.
I would love to play on the college level. I would love to take that next step. I feel like I'm ready, and I'm always here to learn.
Prep Player of the Week is provided by Allegram, your trusted source for awards. Big congrats again to Ayodeji. I'm really looking forward to seeing what his future holds. That's your morning sports report. I'm Rocco DeSangro. Have a great Preakness Saturday.
of a length and a half back, and it's probably
Preakness is finally here. I'm Olivia Dance, and coming up next, I'll take you live to Pimlico, where final preparations are underway.
And I am tracking some rain that's going to arrive during Preakness today. I'll explain exactly when this batch of showers gets here and what it means for your Preakness plans in a couple of minutes.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 Morning News.
Good morning to you. Some of that fog has started to dissipate over Towson this morning. You're with us here on May 20th. The Preakness Stakes is finally here. I'm Taylor Stewart. Let's get right over to your forecast. Meteorologist Amy Aronson with a look at what we can expect.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad this morning. Most of the day, we should be in good shape. It's later this evening that we've got to worry about our next weather maker. It's out here right now, so it's that batch of showers to our west. That's what's going to head our way. Yes, we've got some showers to our east, too, but they will not reach us today. We are just dealing with some clouds, a little bit of mist, and a little bit of fog. But the fog is already starting to lift and improve, so it's starting to dissipate. Just south of Baltimore, we are down to 1 mile visibility there, but the rest of us, not in bad shape visibility-wise. As we head through the rest of the day, plan on more clouds than sun. It's not going to be a washout. We are looking at temperatures in the low 70s by midday, near 80 this afternoon. It's late this afternoon, early this evening that we throw in that risk for some showers, mainly tonight. That's when you got to worry about that. Right around sunset through the first part of tonight, that's when that weather maker will be moving through. Coming up in 10 minutes, I'll walk you through the timeline for it hour by hour so you know exactly how to plan out what you're bringing with Pimlico today. Taylor?
All right, you know what that sound means. Today is the running of the 148th Preakness Stakes. We want to go live to Pimlico this morning. Olivia Dance is there. She's been there all week for us, giving us a look at everything this year has to offer. Good morning, Olivia.
Yeah, good morning, Taylor. Preakness is finally here. There's been so much preparation leading up to this, so everyone is really excited. I got my fascinator on, and check this out. The racetrack is right here. It just got groomed, so these final preparations are really underway. But, of course, horse health and safety is always top of mind, so that's when I want to bring in Dr. Benson, the Chief Veterinary Officer here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so we know that first mission scratched yesterday, so now there's only going to be 7 horses running in Preakness. Tell us about what went into that decision.
Yeah, so we start looking at these horses as soon as they get on grounds, and they're required to be on grounds for several days prior to the race. The first day we checked them, we had some questions and asked for some diagnostics, and checked them again the next day, got the results of the diagnostics, and after speaking with the connections, it was a joint decision that it was probably best to get him evaluated further at a hospital with more diagnostics available and save his race for another day.
Yeah, exactly, because we know that, if the horses aren't 100%, then they're not going to be out on the track, but, thankfully he is okay, but just not for this race. So, switching gears a little bit, let's just talk about overall health and safety of these horses. What do they eat? How much exercise do they get? What are their schedules like? Because they're celebrities, they're athletes.
They are. They're the most accessible celebrities you'll ever meet, though, because if you come up with a carrot, they're real happy to see it. So most of these horses start really early in the morning with breakfast. They are early risers. They get three meals a day with many pounds of grain, and they have hay snacks in front of them all day long, hay or alfalfa. They can get up at 2 in the morning for their snack if they want it. And a lot of them get copious amounts of treats, so carrots, apples, sweet potatoes, you name it.
So these horses are kind of like me. We both like to snack.
Exactly. They're constant eaters.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Obviously, very important to make sure that they're good before the big race. As far as First, how is First pioneering horse safety?
So we work on several fronts. First of all, we've really worked to push medication reform through federal legislation, as well as prior to that, as at our own tracks. Additionally, we have more veterinarians to watch training than just about anywhere in the world. We're watching these horses every day that they're on our tracks. Additionally, we've really leaned into technology. We purchased the first standing PET scanner for horses, which allows us to diagnose injuries sooner than ever, even before they're serious.
That's incredible. Yeah, it's really interesting, all of the care that goes into these horses. So I want to thank you for joining us and doing a great job of explaining all of that. But I'll send it back to you, Taylor.
All right, sounds good. Now, the race is not only attracting people here from Baltimore, but people all over the country. Bruno Mars is headlining this year's concert on Pimlico's Infield. And economists say Preakness could bring in about $50 million to the greater Baltimore region and the state this year.
A lot of interest this year. Again, there's this focus among many people that they want to have more experiences. This is the second jewel of the Triple Crown, and we have the Kentucky Derby winner racing in this race, so that adds to the intrigue. And so I think you are going to see a lot of people there.
Now, Maryland's Attorney General is asking people to be on the lookout for scammers. A.G. Brown says consumers should be careful of companies that offer risk-free bets. If you are going to bet online, watch out for phony websites as well. And if you suspect you are the victim of a scam, report it right away. We've got information on our website how to do so at foxbaltimore.com. And of course, stick with us all morning long because we're going to continue to follow the 148th running of the Preakness Stakes. Coming up at 8:30, we're going to go back out to Pimlico on the field with more on those preparations. All right, Baltimore City Council leaders are now preparing for a hearing on the impact of chronic absenteeism in Baltimore City schools. A Project Baltimore investigation revealed absentee rates have more than doubled from 2016 to 2022, with 58% of students considered chronically absent. City leaders are now asking if they're not in school, where are they? Here to help shed some light on that question and the impact it's having on the city, Dr. David Herber, the CEO and founder of Concentric Educational Solutions. Good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you doing today? Thank you so much.
I'm doing lovely. Now, your team not only helps students navigate some of the barriers, but you have your own lived experience. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, I was a product of chronic absenteeism. I dropped out or was kicked out of 5 schools in Delaware prior to going to undergrad and then creating Concentric after being an administrator in Baltimore City Public Schools for quite some time. So it's a lived experience, understanding why students disconnect from school, but then more importantly, how do we get them back to school and keep them in school? So through our work for the past 14 years, using a combination of home visits, mentoring, and tutoring, all 3 of them have really helped understand the problem nationwide, not just in Baltimore, because the issue is not just germane to Baltimore City.
Now, in this last year, we've seen an uptick in juvenile crime. I mean, pretty startling numbers. Is there a relationship between chronic absenteeism and crime?
Absolutely. We're working closely with the mayor's office with the Squeegee Initiative. We're actually patrolling the 25 corners 5 days a week from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., trying to speak to students who are, or school-age children who are there on the corners, and then connecting them to the re-engagement center. But there is a direct correlation. I'm not going to say necessarily causation, but students are disconnected, and it has become even more prevalent post-pandemic. So we just have to be a little bit more innovative and targeted with our approach to how we reconnect students.
And the city leaders want to bring in district leaders from the school system and really ask them what the impact is of this chronic absenteeism, what is contributing to it. From your conversations on the street, what is it that is really pulling students away from the classroom? 58% is the majority of Baltimore City school students.
Yeah, so this year in Baltimore City, we would have, by the end of the school year, in a couple weeks, we would have conducted almost 30,000 home visits, approximately, across the city. And it's just the conversations that we're having with people, with students. They need to feel connected with an adult in the school. It can't just be the same old curriculum and saying, okay, we're there just for education. They need more wraparound services. And this is what we're hearing from students and families, quite frankly. And so what I would suggest across the board is let's make sure that we connect them and then keep them. And if we're finding out what the challenges are, and we're not mitigating those challenges once we bring them back, we're going to lose them again. And that is one of the things that I suggest, is that when we bring them back, is the school ready to do something with the mitigating factors that they've identified?
All right, we're going to continue this conversation, but we'll wrap it right here for now. Thank you so much, Dr. Herber, for joining us this morning.
No, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Have a great day.
You too. All right, coming up after the break, we're looking to the Ravens preseason. The team they're going to hold joint practices with just ahead.
And I am tracking a new weather maker today. See that batch of showers that's now moving through Ohio and into western Pennsylvania? Yeah, that's headed our direction. I'll let you know exactly what that means for Preakness today in a couple of minutes. It's 8:09. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News.
ahead this morning, the Ravens will host 2 preseason practices with the Washington Commanders heading into their preseason matchup. According to the team's website, the teams will hold joint practices Tuesday, August 15th and Wednesday, August 16th at the Under Armour Performance Center in Owings Mills. Now, the following Monday, August 21st, the 2 teams will face off in the second week of the preseason games at the FedEx Field in Landover. This is the 4th time the Ravens have hosted a joint practice. They also hosted the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Los Angeles Rams, and the San Francisco 49ers. Still ahead, it's all things Preakness all morning here. Coming up at 8:30, Olivia Dance is going to join us live again with everything that's going on today for those festivities. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning. Former Mayor Sheila Dixon is calling for a new leader of Baltimore City Schools. As Project Baltimore's Chris Pabst reports, Dixon says the results are simply not there, and it's time for Dr. Sonia Santelises to go.
It's now been 13 years since Sheila Dixon was mayor of Baltimore. Since leaving office, she has watched her city become one of the most violent and fastest shrinking. With 569,000 residents, Baltimore's population is down 50,000 since 2010. And according to Dixon, the reason people are leaving is simple.
People can say it's because of crime, but the biggest thing is because of education. People want the best education for their children.
And Dixon says families are not receiving that from Baltimore City schools.
If you were mayor right now, what's the first thing you would do with the school system?
If I were mayor right now, the first thing that I would do with the school system would be to bring in all of the various unions, the administration, sit down at a table and ask some hard questions. What are we going to do to change this?
Dixon says when she was mayor, every month she had a meeting with school leaders, the CEOs, school board members, and unions. She said she learned about the challenges and worked on solutions. But she says these meetings also let the school leaders know the mayor was watching.
The fact that Baltimore City provides funding to Baltimore City schools, we have a responsibility to make the schools accountable.
It's difficult to compare Baltimore City schools now to when Dixon was mayor. A lot has changed in the city and the school system itself, including changes in graduation requirements and state testing. Here's what we do know. During Dixon's term, Baltimore City Schools was one of the lowest performing large school systems in America, just like it is today. But it was showing signs of improvement. From 2007 to 2010, when Dixon was mayor, key metrics like enrollment and graduation rates were increasing. Compare that to today. Most key metrics are going in the wrong direction. Over the last 5 years, enrollment is down 3,000 students. Graduation rates are down from 72% to 68%. And when it comes to student performance, federal test scores have dropped since Dixon's term. According to the nation's report card, students performed better in both 4th and 8th grade math and reading in 2009 compared to 2022.
Money's important, but accountability is also just as important. You can't keep putting money into a bad system and not have accountability and show results.
Dixon believes Baltimore City needs to rethink education. She favors year-round schooling and longer school days. With 58% of city students chronically absent, the most in the state, Dixon says schools need to work directly with families to get students in class.
Anytime you have to stimulate a parent or guardian to get their child to school, something's wrong.
And according to Dixon, there's one more big change that city schools needs to make, and it involves CEO Dr. Sonia Santelises. Current Mayor Brandon Scott strongly supports Dr. Santelises, but Dixon says the results are not there. It's time for her to go.
I think there needs to be some changes in leadership because of all the challenges and the results that we're seeing in the schools. I think it's time. I think she's a nice, wonderful person. I think we do need to have a change.
I'm Chris Pabst, and this is Project Baltimore.
All right, let's get over to meteorologist Amy Aronson with a look at your forecast this morning. Is it a good time to walk the dog?
Not bad, not pouring right now, just a little cloudy, little misty out there. You can see Towson looks a little damp this morning, but no real rain falling right now. We are off to a pretty comfortable start, just throwing a light jacket. Upper 50s, low 60s to get your Saturday started. And we are looking at a pretty nice day ahead of us, despite what the weather map shows. Yes, we have a weather maker off to our west there. That's a cold front that's pushing in. It's going to take its sweet old time getting here. That means most of today is actually dry. That front doesn't arrive here until this evening. So we are starting off cloudy this morning. Clouds should break for some sun this afternoon. Here's the scene at 1 o'clock. Not bad. A mix of clouds and sunshine with temperatures in the mid and upper 70s at that point to near 80 degrees. That's all before this cold front gets here this evening. Right now, our forecast model shows that line of showers weakening, but arriving right around 7 o'clock. Not great for post time today at Preakness. I would have a poncho with you if you're planning on staying out there later tonight, especially for the concert after the races, because we have some showers lingering through 10, 11 o'clock tonight. Once we get the rain out of here, we're drier tomorrow. We start off with clear skies in the morning, mid and upper 50s to begin. Lots of sunshine for the afternoon, too, with temperatures warming into the 70s, upper 70s again tomorrow. So tomorrow, definitely the drier of the 2 weekend days. Today comes with that chance for some late day showers. I think it's mainly this evening. That means plenty of time to do anything outside this afternoon and not have to worry about the rain. Upper 70s today. Tomorrow, completely dry, bright and sunny with highs in the upper 70s. Quick look ahead, our temperature trend shows not much of a cool down this week. We'll stay in the 70s, mid and upper 70s, actually all the way through the end of your 7-day forecast. And beyond today, no rain chances either. We're completely dry all the way through next Friday. Now let's check in with Mark Jones from the MTA. Good morning, Mark.
Well, good morning, Amy. Good morning, everyone. If you're heading to Pimlico for the Preakness today, take M.MTA. Forget about parking and take advantage of the winning fares and the convenience of the many services. On Metro Subway Link, you can take that service to the Reisterstown Plaza Metro Subway Station and connect with the shuttle bus for a short ride to the racetrack. Light Rail Link is an option from north and south of the city. Take Light Rail Link to the Cold Spring Lane stop and Poly Western High School for a connecting shuttle bus to Pimlico. Local Link buses 30, 31, 34, 85, 91 and 94 all stop near Pimlico. The fare is just $4.60. For the MTA Transit Team, I'm Mark Jones.
Still ahead this morning, we've got some news for crab lovers, and it's good news. The new report shedding a light on the population within the Chesapeake Bay.
Preakness is finally here. I'm Olivia Danson. Coming up next, I'll take you live to Pimlico, where final preparations are underway.
From Albany.
Don't you love the sound? Preakness is today, and there's a lot going on. Joining us this morning to discuss everything Preakness, Frank Vespi. He's back with us, the publisher. And
Can't get rid of me, can you?
No, you don't want to. He's the founder of Racing Biz. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Happy Preakness.
Happy Preakness. So tell us, how is the field settling in over at Pimlico?
Well, it's been an interesting week. The field had settled in pretty well, and everything seemed to be going very smoothly. And at 7 o'clock yesterday morning, we got word that one of the 8 horses had scratched. That was First Mission. First Mission was a horse that a lot of people, and including me, thought might win. So that was a pretty big deal. So now we're down to 7 horses, but fingers crossed, hopefully it holds together with 7, and should be a lot of fun. You know, we got Mage, the Derby winner.
Yep.
We got a local hopeful that we talked about last week. So a lot of different kind of neat stories that may bubble up here.
How does the scratch-off affect the race today?
Well, it affects it in 2 ways. One, this was a horse that looked like a major contender. The other is the way the race sets up. He looked like one of the 3 horses that's kind of consistently shown speed. With him pulled out of the race, that leaves just 2, and that probably leaves National Treasure, the horse on the rail, going to the front and leading by himself. And he may not come back in that case.
Okay. Well, the local bred, Coffee with Chris, he is going to be the first Maryland-bred horse to take the Preakness in 40 years. Tell us a bit about him and what we're expecting.
It's a neat story. Coffee with Chris, they paid $2,000 to get him at auctions, and his trainer, John Salzman Jr., has been in the game for his whole life, and this is a horse they thought wouldn't go long, wouldn't stretch out, would just be a sprinter. He kept stretching out, he kept improving, and they said, well, let's take a shot here at the Preakness. We've got articles about him on the racingbiz.com. We've interviewed him. We've got videos with him. It's just a fun story, and you'll love to see the locals. I talked to the guy who trained Deputed Testimony, who won the Preakness 40 years ago, and I said, how come none in 40 years? And he said, I think one of the reasons is guys don't want to take a shot anymore. Well, now we've got one taking a shot, so fingers crossed for the local angle.
So I got to ask this final question here. who is now on your pick? I mean, we got First Mission, who's gone. We've got the local bred. So many, incredible horses. Mage, who's on your list?
Well, Mage is best. He's the best horse in the race. I think the way the race sets up, probably National Treasure is the horse, and you hope for a little value there. I'll give you another horse that I think could jump up and run a big race, and you might get a little price on him. That's Blazing Sevens. He skipped the Derby. He could have gotten in the Derby, but they skipped it to come here. The trainer has won this race twice with horses that skipped the Derby to come here. So he might be sitting on a big race today.
All right, big race, lots of money on the line. Thank you so much, Frank, for giving us all the background on all things Preakness. I appreciate you.
Taylor, I appreciate it. It's always fun to talk with you about the Preakness. Happy Preakness.
Thank you. All right, well, we're still got some good news for you on the state of the Chesapeake Bay. We've got a new report on the overall crab population that will be good for crab lovers. Plus, our Preakness Saturday starting out kind of cloudy, but meteorologist Amy Aronson is going to let us know if we see some rain this afternoon. Stick with us. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 Morning News.
Good morning to you. Thanks for being with us this Saturday, May 20th, the Preakness Stakes Day. I'm Taylor Stewart. Let's get over to your forecast, though. Meteorologist Amy Aronson checking some showers in her forecast.
Yeah, keeping a watchful eye on the radar today. This will become all more important much later on as we near post time. That's when the main batch of showers is going to push our direction. Right now, just a little cloudy, little foggy, but mild to begin. Upper 50s, low 60s to start, so it is comfortable if you're getting ready to head out to Pimlico shortly. I would just bring a light jacket with you this morning. Quick check at our visibility shows it's still an issue to our south in Annapolis and towards Westminster. We're down to 2 miles there. Everybody else not really reporting any visibility issues currently. For the remainder of the morning, we're just overcast. We do have that chance for showers later today. Temperatures will be warming close to 70 by the end of the morning. Coming up in 10 minutes, I'll show you when that main batch of showers is expected to arrive and how you should prepare if you are heading out to Pimlico today. Taylor.
All right, you know what that sound means. Today is the running of the 148th Preakness Stakes. Let's go back out to Pimlico this morning. Olivia Dance has been covering all things Preakness. Olivia, give us the update.
So it's going to be...
Yeah, hey Taylor. It is a little bit misty out here, but that's not going to stop people from starting to come through. The gates are opening at 9 o'clock, so that's about 30 minutes from now, so we're excited to see that. We're going to probably see a lot of fascinators, people dressed up all nice, but you can see how close we are to the racetrack here. Final preparations are underway. We saw that they were grooming the track before the horses head on out. So I want to bring in a horse expert right now, Michelle. She's a handicapper here. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. So I have to ask you before we get into betting and all that, what horses are you watching? Who do you think the front runners are?
I mean, in the Preakness, you certainly have to look at Mage, who was your Kentucky Derby winner. I liked him before the Derby, so I feel like I'm okay staying on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
With the big scratch of first mission, also, I think you have to look at National Treasure as well. And I think a lot of people, he was already on their radar, being from a very powerful barn in Bob Baffert. The way he's been working lately, and the way the track played yesterday, all kind of gears towards him.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. And as far as, there's probably going to be several people that are placing bets for the first time this year. So tips and tricks, what do you recommend for them?
Bet with your heart, Olivia. That is my number one recommendation. Like, I do a lot of handicapping. I watch replays. I watch works. If you don't know how to do that, don't do it. Come out here. I like the gray horse. It's pretty. That one has braids in it. I love the silks on that one. You have just as good of a chance, and you are invested for the 2 minutes of that race just as much as I am.
Makes it more fun.
It is, and my one recommendation would be don't come in here and say, I'm going to pick the longest shot every day. All right? Favorites win the majority of races, so if you don't want a favorite, maybe pick something a little closer, but don't go for the 50-1 in every single race.
Right, okay, that's good advice. So, some tips and tricks for first-time bettors there. How much do you recommend for the first-time betting? Should people play it safe? Maybe they can get a little bit more risky if they want?
I mean, that really depends on how much money you're comfortable losing, right? You can't come into it thinking, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to make stacks. That's just a way to set yourself up for disappointment. Think of it like Vegas, right? When you go to Vegas, you're like, this is my money I'm bringing to bet and lose. And if you win, it's great. But if not, you're like, oh, it's free money, right?
Yeah.
So, come with that in mind. So if you have $100 for the day, there's 14 races, split it up. I like to kind of bet like $5 to $20 per race, and then maybe play a multiple race wager with a little bit more money.
There you go. And then you're invested in more than just one race. As far as, obviously, you don't have to actually be here at Pimlico to participate in the betting. What do you recommend for people who are betting at home? How can they do that?
Even when I'm here, I still bet on my phone, right? I like to bet on my phone, so you can use an ADW, an account deposit wagering service. I recommend Express Bet or First Bet, and you just go to your app store, download them, you fund right there, and you bet on your phone, and it tells you odds. You can watch the races from there and everything. It's really great, unless you're in D.C. No gambling.
Can't go. Yeah, not in D.C. So that's a good tip. And I want to switch gears just a little bit for our final question. Can you tell us a little bit about jockeys and their experience leading up to the race? I mean, I've been here the past few days and I've seen how the horses are getting ready. They stretch, they walk around. But what is that like for the jockeys?
I mean, for the jockeys, it's just kind of a lot of mental preparation.
Yeah.
You're getting ready for a really big race, and for some of the riders, this is a race that they've been wanting to win since they were little kids. So there's that mental aspect of it. As far as physical, they're already training. They're already our athletes, right? So it's like nothing more physical from that standpoint, but the thinking, what's going to happen? How's the track playing? Where's my hole? So many questions like that. And for them, it's really split-second decisions. How does your horse break? Where should I put them? So it's all just mental for them.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Michelle. And again, gates are opening soon, so we're going to start seeing people flood in here. It's going to be a lot of fun. Everyone's so excited. But I'll send it back to you, Taylor.
All right, all the excitement. Well, it's expected to draw tens of thousands of people to Pimlico, which comes with a big boost for Baltimore's economy. Fox 45's Rebecca Pryor joins us with just how much the city is expected to benefit from the tourism uptick. Rebecca.
Yeah, Preakness is more than just a treasured tradition. It's also a massive moneymaker for the city. From our restaurants to our hotels, thousands of people will be spending millions of dollars in Baltimore this weekend.
Take 20-on-7 to win.
Between the experienced high-stakes gamblers.
I have a friend that gives me what he thinks, and he's doing very well today.
Let's get a winner here.
To those just playing it safe.
I only spent about $60 today. I don't bet much money.
The rash of racing fans descending on Pimlico this weekend has local economists betting the Baltimore region will bank close to $50 million this weekend.
And this is our Super Bowl every year.
Adding to the excitement and likely upping spending.
Winner, chicken dinner here.
14-time Grammy Award winner Bruno Mars set to take the stage at Preakness Live, as well as Triple Crown hopeful Mage, seen in his stall this afternoon, prepped and ready to take on the track.
And we have the Kentucky Derby winner racing in this race, so that adds to the intrigue.
I think we're going to have a great day.
Craig Frevel, the executive vice chairman of First racing and gaming, saying ticket sales are way up compared to turnout during COVID. Back in 2020, no fans were allowed on the grounds, and in 2021, the absence of infield festivities, capping attendance to just 10,000 people. Finally, in 2022, a slight rebound with 42,000 people back at Pimlico. As for this year, no hard numbers yet, but we do know organizers seem satisfied.
We're really happy with our ticket sales compared to last year. We're running a little bit up on those.
Still, nowhere near the 130,000 fans drawn in during pre-pandemic years, many blaming the slow recovery on a lack of investment in Pimlico's aging infrastructure. It's now been 3 years since state lawmakers approving $375 million for facility upgrades meant to keep the Preakness in Baltimore. The vice president of the Maryland Stadium Authority previously promising to break ground on construction in the coming months.
I'd say late summer of 23 and completed by Preakness 26.
But now, a report sent to lawmakers earlier this year revealing that's no longer the case. The Stadium Authority writing, quote, "This timetable is no longer realistic." Fravel blaming pandemic-related supply chain issues and inflation on the delays.
Since then, we've had COVID. Since the law was adopted, we've had a situation where interest rates have practically tripled, which affects the amount of bond financing available.
The prolonged pause on redevelopment sending a pivotal jewel in horse racing's history running towards an uncertain future.
I actually can't give you a timeline. There's a lot of work to be done.
I wish they would make up their mind what they're going to do and get it done.
And putting the annual boost to Baltimore's economy on the line.
Pimlico needs a makeover.
Fox 45 has also sent multiple interview requests to the Maryland Stadium Authority asking to discuss this redevelopment project's progress, but all of those requests have been denied. In Baltimore City, Rebecca Pryor, Fox 45 News.
If you're heading out to the Preakness today, make sure you send us your pictures and videos from Pimlico. Go ahead to foxbaltimore.com/chime-in or scan that QR code on your screen. Still ahead, Ben Crump joining a lawsuit against city schools. He sits down for a one-on-one interview and shares why he's committed to this case and the national ramifications it could hold.
And we're off to a cloudy start today with some showers arriving late tonight. We are looking at a warm day ahead of us, though, with highs in the upper 70s, dry and sunny for the rest of the weekend and actually for the rest of the week. That means we will focus in on that rain chance today. I'll break it down in more detail in just a couple of minutes. It's 8:38. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News.
Trending this morning, the Maryland Department of Natural Resources releases a new survey showing the number of blue crabs in the Chesapeake Bay has gone up. According to the Blue Crab Winter Dredge Survey, the population's gone from 227 million crabs last year to 323 million crabs this year. Officials say despite the uptick, they are continuing to remain vigilant as the number of juvenile crabs has been low for the last 4 years. An iconic location of one of America's favorite fast food chains is closing its doors after more than 50 years in business. Chick-fil-A will be shutting down its first ever restaurant for good. The restaurant, located inside of Atlanta's Greenbrier Mall, opened in 1976, or 67 rather, and signs posted at the location say its last day will be today. No official reason for the closing has been given. He's making a promise to help put Baltimore kids on the right path. Why Ben Crump says a lawsuit against city schools could be key for their success. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning. Nationally known civil rights attorney Ben Crump will deliver the commencement address at Morgan State University. It's focused on the importance of education. Now, this week, he spoke to Fox 45's Mackenzie Frost about the struggles students face in Baltimore City and why he says he's committed to a lawsuit that claims the city does not provide the quality educations those students are entitled to.
Before taking the stage at Morgan State University Saturday.
I'm very excited to deliver the commencement and try to inspire the young people to go out and make the world a better place.
Civil rights attorney Ben Crump says an education can be the ticket to success.
How important is it for people to realize the value of that college education?
Education is the passport to the future. And when you're denied a quality education, then your future is extremely limited.
But right now in Baltimore City, that's not reality for every student. Fox 45's Project Baltimore uncovering 23 schools with 0 students who were tested proficient in math. That news coming after Go students were highlighted by Project Baltimore and grade changing taking place. Those failures sparking this.
Could not afford to stand on the sideline.
A lawsuit filed against the city for the failing education system on behalf of taxpayers.
We owe our children at least the basic quality education so they can have an opportunity at the American promise of life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness. But without a quality education, their future is so bleak from day one.
Is that why you joined the lawsuit in Baltimore City against the school system for a failing system?
I did, because we put all politics aside, we put all special interests aside, and we tried to focus on the children to say, let's make this about these young people and giving them the opportunity to be all they can be. Without a quality education in American society today, you are a target for the school to prison pipeline. You're already in prison. They just have not closed the prison cell door yet. And that's why we have to give our children an education so they won't get caught up in prison.
Is that happening in Baltimore City?
Well, I want to believe that the lawsuit is making everybody pay attention.
So far, most city leaders are not paying attention to the lawsuit, chalking up many of the failures facing students in the classroom now as a result from the pandemic.
It doesn't seem like it's rising to the level of urgency that perhaps it should be.
Yeah, and that's what we have to continue to do, to use whatever platforms we have, whatever influence, to remind them that our children's education is a crisis issue. Every day that we don't treat it like a crisis, we lose dozens and dozens of other children.
More kids lost in a system plagued with problems as students cycle through the door year after year. In Baltimore, Mackenzie Frost, Fox 45 News.
All right, your Saturday morning forecast is starting off a little foggy, but possibly dissipating. Meteorologist Amy Aronson here with a look at what we can expect today.
Yeah, breaking down your Preakness planner here day part by day part, starting off with what's happening right now. Little cool, little foggy, little misty. Still giving it the green light. Just throw on a light jacket and you'll be good to go. This afternoon, we'll enjoy some sunshine, some warmer temperatures. So because of that, gets the green light. This evening, scattered showers show up. I'd have a poncho just in case, but I am pushing it to the yellow light. And if you are heading out to Pimlico Racecourse today, I want to see your pictures. Send them to us, foxbaltimore.com/chime in. You can already see some sun trying to break through the clouds this morning. Still overcast in Baltimore, low 60s to start, so it is cool to begin, but temperatures will be warming today before this cold front gets here. That's our next weather maker. That's what's going to push in and send us that chance for rain by this evening. That means most of today is dry. I don't even think you need a rain jacket if you're heading out to Pimlico because you're just going to end up carrying it most of the day. An updated look at our storm outlook shows we're just right on the edge of this general thunderstorm risk. That means we could hear some thunder. And if we do and you're caught out at Pimlico, remember to find shelter to stay safe from the thunder and the lightning too. So here comes this cold front pushing in from the west. That will send us this skinny line of showers this evening. Looks like they hold off until close to 7 o'clock. That timing not ideal. That's when the main race happens at Pimlico today, so all eyes will be on that. But it looks like things could get a little messy out there during that time period. Showers will linger tonight, so if you're staying after for the concert, be prepared for that. Just have a poncho ready to go. All this clears out of here tonight, and by tomorrow morning, the sun is back out with clear skies, and we'll soak up the sunshine tomorrow. Sunday looks drier, and it stays warm, too. Today, not exactly a completely dry day, mostly cloudy with some showers, even a rumble of thunder this afternoon and this evening. Still nice and warm, with high temperatures getting close to 80 today. Tonight, I did throw in that chance for rain early on. Otherwise, temperatures will stay very mild tonight with the clouds and the rain. We'll spend this evening in the low 70s. Tomorrow's a beauty. Upper 70s to wrap up the weekend. Not bad. As we head through the upcoming work week, no real rain chances. Remember, we are heading into Memorial Day weekend next weekend. And as of now, it looks like we're off to a good start Friday with highs in the mid-60s. Now let's check in with Mark Jones from the MTA. Good morning, Mark.
Well, good morning, Amy. Good morning, everyone. Take MTA to the Preakness and not deal with all the traffic hassles. On Metro Subway Link, you can take that service to the Reisterstown Plaza Metro Subway Station and connect to a shuttle bus for a short ride to the racetrack. Light Rail Link is an option from north or south of the city. Take Light Rail Link to the Cold Spring Lane stop at Poly Western High School for a connecting shuttle bus to Pimlico. Local Link buses 30, 31, 34, 85, 91, and 94 all take you to Pimlico, and the fare is just $4.60. Light Rail Link 15 minutes late. Metro Subway Link 5 to 10 minutes late at present. For the MTA Transit Team, I'm Mark Jones.
Still ahead, safety is a top priority for organizers of Preakness this year. The measures that will be implemented today on the track. Okay, many of us are going to visit Old Hilltop today and enjoy the excitement of live thoroughbred racing for just a day. But for others, it's a year-long obsession. The Pons family has been one in our area, leading breeders for almost a century. Country Life Farm is now making the sport of kings attainable for the average fan through partial ownership. Our Director of Operations, Jimmy Mathis, has the story.
Country Life Farm, our home farm. This will be the 91st year this fall. My grandfather bought it in 1933, moved his family down from Long Island, kept his place not far from Belmont Park. He would commute back and forth to Long Island from Bel Air, Maryland. I'm so tickled that Maj, the Derby winner, came because he's a genuine horse. Sold at Timonium a year ago, which is really cool. And he's a poster child for the micro ownership. There's 400 owners in this horse.
Well done. Venezuelan Javier Castellano, a Derby winner.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. And my best clients come out, they participate. They come to the farm, watch the horses train. They come out to see the mares with the foals.
Hit her off.
They go to the races with us. They go to the sales. We go out of town for the races. So it's one of these kind of things where you start and where you end up. I hope we're two different places, but we had a lot of fun over the years. And it's just fun because for that 2 minutes or however long the race is, that's my horse out there. Here's my money. Oh, it's like graduation day. It's like your kid graduated kindergarten or elementary school or high school. It's fun. And what's really neat is I've got some clients who are just lucky. So I can't wait till they get these partners in certain horses because I just know something's good going to happen. Winston Churchill said, you know, there's something about the outside of a horse that's good for the inside of a person. And to paraphrase him. Oh, and what's really cool is years ago I went to business school and I went with accountants and lawyers and bankers and all those guys, and I'm the only guy doing the same job now as them.
If you're heading out to the Preakness Stakes today, we want to see how you're celebrating. Go ahead and send us a picture or a video from Pimlico, or if you're celebrating at home with that fastener on, send it to foxbaltimore.com/chime-in, or just scan that QR code on your screen. It'll take you right there. Let's get over to Genevieve Gorder for a look at today's steals and deals.
The following segment is sponsored by Knocking.
We all get earwax. Ugh, it's really nothing to be embarrassed about. And you like to use those cotton swabs, but they really don't work because they just push the wax deeper into your ear. The Whoosh Powered Ear Cleaner is really going to help you break up that wax. I'm going to show you how it works. It's really easy. I already have some water. You add warm water. Has to be warm. You can use this inside the shower or out of the shower. I'll show you right here. You have this little cup, and you put the cup up to your ear. You stick the whoosh inside and turn it on, and it just starts to break up that wax. And there are 3 different levels, so if you want to go lighter so you don't have a big rush of water in your ear, that works as well. The buildup of wax in your ear can lead to irritation, hearing loss, and the Whoosh is really going to help break down that wax and help you feel better. The other thing I like about it, if you have a bunch of people in the house, your kids, your spouse, there are 6 different attachments. So you can use these, and not everybody's using the same thing to break up the wax in their ears. So this is just going to help you feel a little bit better about yourself and relieve that wax in your ear. Right now, we're offering 35% off the Whoosh Powered Ear Cleaner. It's such a great deal. You want to head over to asadeals.com for this exclusive offer.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 Morning News.
Good morning to you. You're looking live over Towson this morning on this Saturday, May 20th. I'm Taylor Stewart. Thanks for being with us here. We're going to get right to your forecast. Meteorologist Amy Aronson has the update with I see some green. That looks like showers.
Yeah, showers coming, but they're still a ways away from us. They're out in Ohio and Pennsylvania right now, so they've got a ways to travel before they reach us. And while we wait, it's actually going to be pretty nice today. This morning, little cloudy, little foggy, but low 60s to start, so that's not bad. I think a light jacket, a sweater at most as you head out this morning, especially if you're heading to Pimlico. Big day there. We are looking at a mostly cloudy afternoon ahead of us, but a warm one. We end up close to 80 today. That chance for showers, I think it holds off until late afternoon, early evening hours at the earliest. Most comes in around 7 o'clock tonight. I will take you through the updated future scan for that and let you know how long the rain sticks around tonight in just about 10 minutes. Taylor?
Don't you love the sound of it? Today is the running of the 148th Preakness Stakes, and we want to go right back out to Pimlico this morning. Olivia Dan's giving a look at everything this year has to offer. The gates are opening right now, Olivia.
Yeah, Taylor, they are opening, so we're going to see a lot more people starting to come in here, and it's exciting. You know, everyone that already is here, all of the staff, you can tell everyone is just excited. And I have my fascinator on, so we're going to be seeing a lot of these. And obviously, we're right here by the track, so this is front row seat. They just groomed the track, and of course, final preparations are underway. But a lot has gone into this leading up to this big day. So I want to bring in Mike Rogers. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell us just about the preparations that went into all this, and how do you feel now that you know it's finally here?
There is a sense of relief that it's finally here.
Sure.
There's an enormous team that takes to execute this type of event. I always say it kind of is like a train starts in January and it kind of just slowly chugs along like in January. But as the months get closer and the days get closer, the momentum starts to build, and then the energy starts to build, and you can feel it starting to peak right about now. So
can't take a deep breath yet, but soon. We're almost there. And obviously you're from the Maryland Jockey Club, so tell us just about why Preakness is such an iconic race. What makes it so iconic?
Well, it's one of the oldest races in North America. It started in 1873, I believe.
Wow.
Always here at Pimlico as well. It's part of the Triple Crown, so it's the second leg of the Triple Crown, which is a really difficult thing for any horse to try to achieve. Very few have actually done it. Mage, of course, is going to try to do it today.
Everyone's keeping their eye out on Mage.
Yeah, so I mean, the Preakness it's just an iconic race. It's been around for a really long time, and there's very few races that reach that pinnacle, and the Preakness has done that.
And of course, you know, beyond just being fun, it's a positive impact on Maryland and the Baltimore community. So can you talk about that?
Well, you know, it's a huge cultural event, not only horse racing, but Maryland has deep roots in horse racing, and this is almost the centerpiece of that right now. And so not only are we going to celebrate horse racing, but we're going to celebrate everything Baltimore, and there's going to be food trucks. Of course, Bruno Mars is playing later on today, so there's lots going on here today.
Yeah, we know that obviously the Infield Fest, that's where we have the music. We also have the art garden, food, drinks. There's lots of stuff going on beyond horse racing, and of course betting as well. So I have to ask, who are you keeping your eye out on? You know, if you're placing bets, who are you rooting for?
Well, you know, my heart is a little bit with Coffee with Chris. He was bred in Maryland. He was actually sold for $2,000, kind of a cool story. The trainer's from Maryland. He trains here in Maryland. So I think it would kind of be cool to see a local horse actually pop up and win such a huge race like this. So
that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, and it can happen. I mean, Mage was a long shot in the Derby, you know, so anything
is possible, right, with these races. That's what makes it so exciting,
it's a horse race. Yeah.
Do you have any tips, though, for people who are placing bets, maybe first-time bettors?
Well, we've got a First Bet app that people can download, and it really is user-friendly for someone new. So I would encourage people to download the First Bet app, and they would have, I think, a really great experience. We have customer service people all throughout the building or whatever, and ambassadors to help with all of that. So I think people will have a great time.
Oh, I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun, and the gates are open now. They opened 3 minutes ago. So typically in years past, do people, like, as soon as the gates open, do they start to just come on in?
They're lined up to come in.
Oh, wow. Okay.
First race is at 10:30.
Well, it's everyone is so excited, and of course, it's also exciting to see how everyone dresses too for this race. That's another big big part of it. So yeah, we're just all looking forward to it, and hopefully you can take that deep breath soon and just enjoy the races.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us, Mike.
Thank you.
I'll send it back to you, Taylor.
Well, same goes for Olivia. Well, the field now, it's down to 7. First mission was scratched due to a hind leg injury. Mage, the Kentucky Derby winner, still the favorite at 8-5. But don't count out National Treasure. The 3-year-old colt began racing in 2022, and he's trained by one of the best to ever do it. We're talking about Bob Baffert, who knows this track and loves this track. Maryland's Attorney General, meanwhile, is asking people to be on the lookout for scammers. A.G. Brown says consumers should be careful of companies that offer risk-free bets. If you are going to bet online, watch for phony websites as well. And if you suspect you are the victim of a scam, report that right away. We've got information right now on our website, foxbaltimore.com, telling you how to do so. And the celebrations, the outfits, the glamour of it all, we want to see it. Take a picture, send it to us through the foxbaltimore.com website on that /chime-in section, or you can scan the QR code on your screen. People from across the country are coming to town for today's race. Keith Daniels has the details on how police are preparing for such a spectacle safely.
At the corner of Hayward Avenue and Winter Avenue, Danielle and her mother, Irena, have food on the grill, smoked and ready for sale. Their location on the block, prime for Preakness.
We the last ones they see going in, and the first ones they see coming out, so that makes for good business.
So does safety. The Preakness is the city's Super Bowl, the second jewel of the Triple Crown every year in Baltimore, a chance to showcase the city. That's why ensuring security measures are in place at Pimlico Racetrack, and the area around the venue are of the utmost importance.
Yeah, they beef up the security and everything when it comes down to the Preakness.
Pimlico Racetrack, a neighbor in the Park Heights community, an area that's historically struggled with crime. According to police data, so far this year, there have been 127 crimes reported, the majority larceny, theft of personal property, followed by aggravated assaults and auto thefts. Also, 4 shootings. Residents like Danielle and her mother weigh in on the city's crime crisis.
The illegal guns, they have to get rid of those as well. So we have so many young folks out here and old people out here that just don't care about life.
Fox 45 News reached out to the Baltimore Police Department asking, is BPD beefing up patrols in the areas surrounding Pimlico Racetrack during race weekend? Are there any other additional safety measures the department will have in place? And how will BPD ensure the safety of residents and those visiting Baltimore? Questions about safety when so many will be watching.
It's because you do have to look out for the Preakness and the folks that come here to, spend their money and enjoy themselves.
All right, stick with Fox 45 News all morning long. We are going to continue to follow the 148th running of the Preakness Stakes. At 9:30, we'll head right back out to Pimlico now that those gates are open.
When it comes to the migration crisis, America's largest city is now bearing much of the difficulty and the cost. I'm Christine Frizzell with what we're learning.
And I'm tracking some showers today. They're well west of here right now, but they are heading our direction. Find out when they arrive here and what that means if you're heading out to Pimlico for Preakness today in a couple of minutes. It's 9:07. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News.
All right, in your sports coverage today, we're looking ahead to the Ravens. They're planning to host 2 preseason practices with the Washington Commanders heading into their preseason matchup. Now, according to the team's website, they're going to hold joint practices Tuesday, August 15th and Wednesday, August 16th at the Under Armour Performance Center in Owings Mills. The following Monday, August 21st, the 2 teams are going to face off in the second week of preseason games at the FedEx Field in Landover. This is the 4th time the Ravens have hosted a joint practice. They also hosted the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Los Angeles Rams, and the San Francisco 49ers. A manhunt right now for an alleged member of the notorious Blood Street Gang. What you need to know about the suspect coming up in Maryland's Most Wanted. Plus, our Preakness coverage continues all morning long. Coming up at 9:30, Olivia Dance will join us live again with more on all the festivities today. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning. All right, the search is now intensifying for an alleged member of the notorious Blood Street Gang who's accused of tracking down a man and murdering him in the middle of a neighborhood. Here's Alexa Ashwell with Maryland's Most Wanted.
This case now a nationwide search involving federal, state, and local partners. Investigators say this man, Raymond Campbell, who's accused of murder, has been on the run for nearly 2.5 years and is believed gang affiliation may be helping him elude law enforcement.
October 14th, 2020, Hagerstown, Maryland. A man is found lying face down on a sidewalk in a neighborhood on Henry Avenue. Officers respond and make a gruesome discovery. The victim was dead and had multiple gunshot wounds.
He had a gunshot wound to his head, his chest, abdomen, and hands.
Officers canvass the neighborhood and, according to investigators, are able to view surveillance footage from a neighbor's doorbell camera.
They looked at surveillance footage and realized that this was a very deliberate act.
A deliberate act with multiple players.
Do you think this murder was gang-related?
Detectives unsure of an exact motive, but investigators say the evidence led them to 5 individuals, including 35-year-old Raymond Campbell. 4 of the suspects have been arrested. The believed driver of the getaway car, identified as Alexander Brooks, who will be sentenced this month, Brock Smith, whose trial is scheduled for this July, 2 other defendants who had their charges dismissed, and Campbell, who has been on the run for more than 2.5 years.
So the leads locally have run dry, and that's why we believe that there's a very good chance he could have fled the state.
Investigators believe Campbell may have fled Maryland to San Francisco, California. Texas, Atlanta, Georgia, or even Florida.
Do you feel his gang affiliation has helped him elude law enforcement?
So in this case, even if an individual is just an associate of a gang, he's going to have an extensive support network, and that would be a good reason as to why he's been able to avoid apprehension to this point.
Campbell, investigators say, has a criminal history that dates back nearly 20 years, with arrests for attempted murder, armed robbery, assault, and drug distribution. A believed gang member with a history of violence, a fugitive, now wanted for murder.
So this individual should be considered armed and dangerous. If you think about the situation, the individual's criminal history, and the fact that this individual is allegedly capable of committing cold-blooded murder, it is absolutely in the interest of public safety that we take him into custody.
Take a good look. Campbell stands at about 5'10" and weighs approximately 160 pounds. Investigators say he goes by the nickname Uno and has distinct tattoos on his neck. If you have any information regarding his whereabouts, you're asked to contact the U.S. Marshals Service. The tip line number right here, 1-877-WANTED-2. Or you can contact agents directly at 202-819-5058. Update. The quote-unquote damsel in distress who investigators say lured a man into a trap has been captured, thanks to your tips.
Just 2 weeks ago, Hope Freeman appeared on Maryland's Most Wanted. The 43-year-old Baltimore woman is accused of setting up a man to get robbed and assaulted at gunpoint by pretending to need help with her car in North Baltimore back in March. Investigators say a viewer recognized Freeman and led agents to a home where she had been staying in West Baltimore.
As soon as the episode aired, within hours, I started getting phone calls. There was multiple citizens that were concerned about her being on the streets. Ultimately, I was able to obtain information that I provided to other investigators, and then we successfully arrested her.
If you recognize any of the fugitives on our board, including Campbell, remember, you can always remain anonymous, and you could earn a reward. I'm Alexa Ashwell, and this is Maryland's Most Wanted.
All right, now we're really wanting the weather to hold up today for the Preakness Stakes. Meteorologist Amy Aronson letting us know if it'll do just that.
Yeah, I think for most of the day we're in good shape, but to be prepared, you got to bring a couple of things. I would recommend a light jacket if you're going to be out there earlier, just because it's still a little cool this morning. Pack a poncho for later on. I don't think you need a rain jacket all day long. You're just going to end up carrying it, so bring a little poncho instead. Throw it in your purse or your pocket. You'll need that this evening. Rain boots not needed. It's not going to be muddy out there, at least most of the day. And then sunglasses. You'll briefly need them this afternoon. We're seeing that sun trying to break through the pesky clouds and the fog this morning. In Towson, we are looking dry right now. Comfortable to start, upper 50s and low 60s to get your morning started. And temperatures are going to warm quite a bit before this cold front gets here. That's what's bringing us that chance for rain later today. It's slow moving. It's going to weaken before it reaches us. That means most of today is dry. And FutureScan is optimistic that clouds will give way to some sun this afternoon, and that's going to help warm us up into the upper 70s to near 80 today. Here comes that shower chance. You'll notice it's really scattered to start. Showers will fill in by 7 o'clock, reaching us right around post time for the big race at Pimlico. So timing far from ideal. Just be prepared. Bring a poncho if you plan to be out there for that race or for the concert afterwards for Bruno Mars. We've got some lingering showers tonight, too. The showers should clear overnight, so by Sunday morning, the sunshine is back. Perfect morning for a walk with the dog, a run, a jog. We are warming up into the 70s by lunchtime tomorrow, and then upper 70s to near 80 to wrap things up. So a pretty nice finish, actually, to the weekend. Today, we are starting off cloudy. We will see some breaks in the clouds this afternoon with highs shooting into the upper 70s. Be prepared for some showers later this afternoon and this evening. Tomorrow looks much drier. We've got all sunshine, plus it's going to be nice and warm still with high temperatures climbing into the upper 70s. And we'll stay in the 70s in our 5-day temperature trend. We've got upper 70s through Monday, mid and upper 70s actually Tuesday and Wednesday too. Actually, much of the week is dry and warm. Beyond today, no real rain chances coming up. Upper 70s will carry us through week's end, and then Friday as we head into Memorial Day weekend, it's going to feel kind of summery. We'll spend Friday in the mid-70s, and an early look at the weekend looks like it'll be off to at least a dry start. Taylor?
All right, now let's check your traffic. The Len Stoller Traffic Network giving us a live look of your Baltimore region cameras. Major roadways surrounding Pimlico looking all good this morning. We'll keep you updated here throughout the day. For a check of mass transit, maybe your best option to the race today, Mark Jones with the MTA. Good morning.
That's right. Good morning, Taylor. Good morning, everyone. Why deal with the traffic and the parking hassles? Just take MTA instead. And you can take Metro Subway Link service to the Reisterstown Plaza Metro Subway Station and connect to a shuttle bus for a short ride to the racetrack. Light Rail Link is an option from north and south of the city. Take Light Rail Link to the Cold Spring Lane stop at Poly Western High School for a connecting shuttle bus to Pimlico. Local link buses 30, 31, 34, 85, 91, and 94 all stop near Pimlico. It's all going to cost you only $4.60 for an all-day pass. Light Rail Link on time at present. Metro Subway Link, 5 to 10 minutes late. For the MTA Transit Team, I'm Mark Jones.
Still ahead this morning, some good news for crab lovers. The new report shedding a light on the population within the Chesapeake Bay. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning. All right, taking you live to Pimlico this morning. The preparations underway for the big race starting just in an hour. Coming up in a few minutes, Olivia Dance is going to join us live with more on all of the celebrations. And if you're heading out there today, we want to see how you're celebrating. We want to see your outfit. We want to see the horses you're choosing. Go ahead and send us a picture or video to foxbaltimore.com/chime in or scan that QR code right there on your screen. Shifting gears now here to the border crisis, where we're taking you live to New York City, where more and more migrants are being sent from Texas with fewer and fewer options from where to send them. National correspondent Christine Frizzell brings us the latest on what's become a desperate situation there and elsewhere.
New York City's iconic Roosevelt Hotel, just the latest destination for migrants being sent from Texas.
We are busing people who the Biden administration has allowed into those communities to sanctuary cities across the United States.
Asylum seekers now occupying half of New York City's hotel rooms, according to Mayor Eric Adams.
This is what we were trying to prevent. We were trying to prevent this.
Instead, the buses keep on coming. The city also using standalone school gymnasiums to house migrants, sparking protests, including from the students themselves. Multiple counties around New York State are now using emergency orders, trying to block migrants from being sent to their regions.
We've got no place to put them. To be able to humanely take care of these people in the rural areas, or where are we going to put them, in a barn or something? I mean, that's not right.
As other New Yorkers step up and show compassion with donations to help those in desperate situations.
I feel like we have to be welcoming. I don't think they're taking jobs away from people. I think they add to our culture.
A group of bipartisan lawmakers in both the House and the Senate has now introduced legislation they call a short-term solution, essentially resurrecting the expulsion authorities of Title 42. Though some other lawmakers say laws are being broken on a daily basis by allowing so many migrants to enter this country.
I think we have to separate true asylum seekers, right? People who are escaping a violent regime, who are about to have themselves or their families suffer real harm, and traditional economic migrants who are taking advantage of what is effectively asylum loophole in our country.
Regardless of the debate in Washington, migrants continue to flee devastating circumstances, overwhelming the southern border. Though since the end of Title 42, the number of those crossing has decreased. I'm Christine Frizzell reporting.
All right, still ahead, we've got some good news when it comes to the state of the Chesapeake Bay and your crabs. The overall crab population uptick just ahead. Plus, our Preakness Saturday is starting out kind of cloudy, but meteorologist Amy Aronson will let us know when we'll see the sun and when we'll see the rain. Park it right there. You're watching Fox 45 Morning News, all local, all morning.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 Morning News.
Good morning to you, looking live over the harbor as the clouds start to dissipate. You're in the right place this Saturday, May 20th. I'm Taylor Stewart. Let's get over to your forecast. Meteorologist Amy Aronson, what are we looking at today on the Preakness Stakes?
Yeah, not bad this morning. Radar looks empty right now. Of course, that's going to change by the end of the day. We are tracking some showers and even some rumbles of thunder. Low 60s to begin, though, so not a bad start to your morning. Actually fairly comfortable as you step out the door. Visibilities are improving with the exception of Annapolis. We're all seeing better visibilities right now as that fog dissipates. Actually, no visibility issues being reported in the Baltimore area. As we head through the rest of the morning, more clouds than sun. We are looking at that chance for rain showers, but I don't really think it's this morning. I think it's later this afternoon and this evening. Temperature-wise, we're in great shape. By lunchtime, for example, we're already breaking into the 70s, and then the upper 70s will actually follow. Now, coming up in just about 10 minutes, I will walk you through that timeline hour by hour of when we are expecting some showers today and then how long they stick around. Taylor?
And you know what that sound means? The running of the 148th Preakness Stakes. And we want to go live back out to Pimlico this morning. Olivia Dance is there to look at everything this year has to offer. The first race gets started in just an hour.
Yeah, hey Taylor, the gates actually opened at 9 o'clock, and we've actually moved. We were over in the grandstand last time you saw me, but now I am in the infield, and this is where Preakness Live will be. So they're going to have music, all sorts of fun things, and of course cocktails. So I want to go ahead and bring in Adam from Bullet Bourbon. Good morning, thanks for joining us.
Of course, thanks for having me.
All right, so you're going to be showing us about the Black Eyed Susan, which is the official cocktail of Preakness. Of course, the Maryland State Flower, and also the Black Eyed Susan race was yesterday. Tell us a little about the history of this cocktail.
Absolutely. You know, a lot like the Mint Julep is the cocktail for the Derby, the Black Eyed Susan is the official cocktail for the Preakness, and here we're going to make it today for you. It's always been a mix of some different juices, some different sour mix, and then we're going to have Kettle One vodka and Bullet bourbon.
All right, you want to show us? It's going to
go into this? Yeah.
Let's get it going.
We're going to start with 1 part.
Never too early, right?
Vodka. Never too early. Just remember, drink responsibly today, right? Yes. Enjoy the races. But...
All right, so we had some vodka in there.
And then we're going to do 1 part Bullet bourbon.
Okay.
And then the history of this drink has always been like a ready-to-serve cocktail. So they pre-blend a bunch of different juices in there. So it's always pineapple, orange, sour. So we've got our pre-mix made right now, and we're going to do 3 parts of our pre-mix.
People can get this cocktail all day here, right? Whether you're in the grandstands or in the infield?
Absolutely. This is going to be served all over the grounds today for everybody to enjoy.
All right, so we got the assortment of juices in there now. Of course, ice.
Ice it up.
It's cold.
Little ice where we're going to serve it.
Very good.
And of course, you got to give it a good shake.
Shake, shake, shake. Woo! Look at that. Perfect. All right, let's see it. And it's got the yellowish color to it, just like the Black Eyed Susan.
Yep.
Very pretty.
And then we come in and garnish
with a cherry. There we go. The Black Eyed Susan cocktail.
A little bit of an orange
Beautiful.
zest.
All right.
So there you go.
It's early. Should I give it a
Black
taste? I feel like I have to, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, Adam.
Cheers and enjoy.
Cheers, everyone. Oh, that's good. You can barely taste the alcohol with the juice in there.
It's really nice. Very refreshing. You know, it goes very well with a nice warm day. So perfect combination with the races.
That was my first time having that, and it's delicious. I think I'll have to try another one. And, you know, obviously people can get them, like you said, all day here. But there is a lot going on here at the infield specifically. Beyond just the horse racing, tell us a little about what the infield has.
Yeah, a ton going on. We have a bunch of different bars set up out here, but besides the bars, we also have a bunch of food vendors. We got live music going on all day long for everybody to enjoy. Yeah, we got a great view of the stage from here, so perfect place to come grab a drink and watch the music.
And I know that the music is kind of alternating with the horse races, right? So like Bruno Mars, he's the lead performance, but he's not coming on until after the big race, right?
I think he comes on right after the final race of the day. So we'll have some music, horse racing break, music, you know, perfect time to come out, watch some horses, have some beverages, enjoy some Bullet bourbon.
Lots of fun. And yeah, where can people find Bullet bourbon today here?
It'll be at every bar around the track.
All right, yeah, there you go. All right, so come on out to Preakness, whether you're going to the grandstands or the infield, you're definitely going to have a good time. Thanks so much, Adam, for joining us. And Taylor, I'll send it back to you.
All right, as long as you save me a glass. The race is expected to draw tens of thousands of people to Pimlico, which comes with a big boost for Baltimore's economy. FOX45's Rebecca Fryer joins us with just how much the city is expected to benefit from the tourism uptick. Rebecca.
Yeah, Preakness is more than just a treasured tradition. It's also a massive moneymaker for the city. From our restaurants to our hotels, thousands of people will be spending millions of dollars in Baltimore this weekend.
Take 20-on-7 to win.
Between the experienced high-stakes gamblers.
I have a friend that gives me what he thinks, and he's doing very well today.
Let's get a winner here.
To those just playing it safe.
I only spend about $60 today.
I don't bet much money.
The rash of racing fans descending on Pimlico this weekend has local economists betting the Baltimore region will bank close to $50 million this weekend.
Hey, this is our Super Bowl every year.
Adding to the excitement and likely upping spending.
Winner, chicken dinner here.
14-time Grammy Award winner Bruno Mars set to take the stage at Preakness Live, as well as Triple Crown hopeful Mage, seen in his stall this afternoon, prepped and ready to take on the track.
And we have the Kentucky Derby winner racing in this race, so that adds to the intrigue.
I think we're going to have a great day.
Craig Frevel, the executive vice chairman of First Racing and Gaming, saying ticket sales are way up compared to turnout during COVID. Back in 2020, no fans were allowed on the grounds, and in 2021, the absence of Infield festivities, capping attendance to just 10,000 people. Finally, in 2022, a slight rebound with 42,000 people back at Pimlico. As for this year, no hard numbers yet, but we do know organizers seem satisfied.
We're really happy with our ticket sales compared to last year. We're running a little bit up on those.
Still, nowhere near the 130,000 fans drawn in during pre-pandemic years, many blaming the slow recovery on a lack of investment in Pimlico's aging infrastructure. It's now been 3 years since state lawmakers approving $375 million for facility upgrades meant to keep the Preakness in Baltimore. The vice president of the Maryland Stadium Authority previously promising to break ground on construction in the coming months.
I'd say late summer of 23 and completed by Preakness 26.
But now, a report sent to lawmakers earlier this year revealing that's no longer the case. The Stadium Authority writing, quote, "This timetable is no longer realistic." Fravel blaming pandemic-related supply chain issues and inflation on the delays.
Since then, we've had COVID. Since the law was adopted, we've had a situation where interest rates have practically tripled, which affects the amount of bond financing available.
The prolonged pause on redevelopment sending a pivotal jewel in horse racing's history running towards an uncertain future.
I actually can't give you a timeline. It's, there's a lot of work to be done.
I wish they would make up their mind what they're going to do and get it done.
And putting the annual boost to Baltimore's economy on the line.
Pimlico needs a makeover.
Fox 45 has also sent multiple interview requests to the Maryland Stadium Authority asking to discuss this redevelopment project's progress, but all of those requests have been denied. In Baltimore City, Rebecca Pryor, Fox 45 News.
Well, many of you have already started sharing how you celebrated Black-Eyed Susan Day yesterday. Diane Hacker shared this picture of her all dressed up, complete with a horse's ribbon hanging from her lamppost. And Angela Vermillion made it out to Pimlico with two of her friends in those matching outfits, ready to soak in all the action. And thank you to Jim Brower, who got up close and personal with some horses. We want to see how everyone is celebrating today. Make sure you send us your pictures or your videos from Pimlico. Just head over to foxbaltimore.com/chime-in or scan the QR code on your screen.
Coming up this week on Full Measure. Across the U.S., there's a surprising land grab taking place involving one of America's biggest adversaries, China. And in no state do Chinese interests now own more land than Texas. Some say it's a national security issue and are calling for the government to step in and prevent such sales. We'll investigate. We'll hear about a disturbing new analysis quantifying how much money COVID kids shut out of their schools for 2 years will lose over their lifetime of earnings. And just like in the U.S., there's a big debate in Europe over what to do about a massive influx of illegal immigrants and asylum seekers. We cross the Atlantic to survey the ongoing tensions. That's this week on Full Measure.
All right, trending this morning, the Maryland Department of Natural Resources releasing a new survey showing the number of blue crabs in the Chesapeake Bay. It's gone up. According to the Blue Crab Winter Dredge Survey, the population's gone from 227 million crabs last year to 323 million crabs this year. Officials say despite this uptick, though, they're continuing to remain vigilant as the number of juvenile crabs has been below average for the past 4 years. An iconic location of one of America's favorite fast food chains, it's closing its doors after more than 50 years in business. Chick-fil-A will be shutting down its first ever restaurant for good. It's located inside of Atlanta's Greenbrier Mall that opened in 1967. The signs posted at the location say the last day will be today. No official reason for the closing has been given. Still ahead this morning, Bob Baffert, no stranger to the big stage of the Preakness. Why the trainer compares his post position to one of a Triple Crown winner in years past. That's just ahead in Sports Unlimited.
Welcome into your morning sports report. I'm Rocco DeSangro. The field of horses set to run in Preakness 148 is down from 8 to 7 after first mission was scratched yesterday due to injury. Of those 7, you have the local horse, Coffee with Chris, Kentucky Derby winner Mage, and National Treasure. That's a horse trained by Bob Baffert and running out of gate 1. And while Baffert isn't necessarily a fan of that draw, it worked for a Triple Crown winning horse he trained in the past.
I remember drawing it with American Pharaoh, and everything was going so well, and then he drew the 1, and I was just fretting about it. And then after watching him turn for home, I was thinking, why did I fret all week about this, But, if you have the best horse, but we're not talking about American Pharaoh here, But, I think it's still going to be a good race.
Here's the post position and the odds that are subject to change as we get closer to that 6:50 start time. On the rail, National Treasure, 4-1 odds. The long shot, Chase the Chaos in the 2-hole. The favorite, Mage, coming out of the 3. Then Coffee with Chris, Red Route 1, and Perform. In the 7, Blazing Sevens, because it's only fitting, and First Mission, scratch from that race. It's a 6:50 post time. 11-1 odds entering the race. Taxed took the Black-Eyed Susan in upset fashion over Hoosier Philly and unbeaten FISA. This was the first win for Taxed since November of 2022 at Churchill Downs. And what a way to get it done at Pimlico. Kyle Gibson's last 3 outings have been subpar, all losses on his record, and 0 run support from the offense. But the Birds put an end to that trend against their AL East foe. O's in Toronto taking on the Blue Jays. Ryan Mountcastle bringing the run support. How about that? 3-run bomb. That's a deep one in the 3rd. And then in the 6th, Anthony Santander says, all right, I'm going to do that too. Solo shot to right makes it a 4-1 lead, and that was more than enough insurance for Gibson last night. 7 innings pitched, 1 earned. He struck out 5 as the O's beat the Blue Jays 6-2, the final score. UMBC softball opening NCAA tournament regional play in Stillwater against a very tough team from Oklahoma State. Retrievers fall in this one 9-0. They're back at it tonight at 5:30 p.m. It's only his 2nd year of high school lacrosse, but Woodlawn's Ayodeji Fadairo is the team's captain, leading scorer, and he embraces that student-athlete grind. For that, Fadairo is our prep player of the week.
The reason why we're out here at Woodlawn High School is to present our Prep Player of the Week award to Ayodeji Fadairo. Not only is he a member of the early college program, he wrestles, a multi-sport athlete, the captain of this team, and he's your leading scorer this season. So for that, Ayodeji, you are the Prep Player of the Week. Congratulations, my friend.
It's an understatement to say I love it. I started playing last year, and I just fell in love with the sport.
Honestly, I don't think he had a lot of confidence at first because, like you said, it was new.
And it didn't take long for Fadairo's confidence to build.
Over the summer, he sent me a letter on why he should be captain. So I knew I had a winner then.
Two-sport athlete, the leading scorer on the team, and a member of the early college program. He's as good in the classroom as he is on the field.
I've just completed my 9th college course, and I'm on track to graduate with my AA degree. So honestly, just being able to be given that opportunity was a blessing to me.
As far as what his future holds in this sport,
he can be up in a D1 type. He has that type of capability.
I would love to play on the college level. I would love to take that next step. I feel like I'm ready, and I'm always here to learn.
Prep Player of the Week is provided by Allegram, your trusted source for awards. Big congrats again to Ayodeji. I'm really looking forward to seeing what his future holds. That's your morning sports report. I'm Rocco DeSangro. Have a great Preakness Saturday.
And we pretty much have a future teller right now. Meteorologist Amy Aronson with a look at our forecast. What are we expecting today?
Yeah, we are expecting some changes. So the day starts off a little cool, little misty out there. Still giving it the green light if you're heading out to Preakness or Pimlico this morning. This afternoon looks fantastic. Some sunshine, plus it's going to be nice and warm. This evening, not so nice. That's when we are throwing in the risk for some rain. So you're going to want to prepare for that, for throwing a poncho in your bag. If you are heading out to Pimlico today, we want to see your pictures and your attire. Send them to us at foxbaltimore.com/chime-in so we can share them right here on Fox 45. We are starting off cloudy this morning, cloudy but comfortable. Low 60s to begin your day. That's all before this cold front gets here. That's the next weather maker. That's the rain chance for later on. We have time. It's slow moving. It's just barely reaching extreme western Maryland this morning. So by the time it reaches us here in Baltimore, it's just going to be some showers, potentially some rumbles of thunder. Right now, it looks like we're included in that general thunderstorm risk. That means no need to worry about severe weather today. But remember, if you do hear some thunder, lightning too, you want to find some shelter if you're going to be out at the racetrack. Now let's talk timing. Most of today is dry. It's not until 4 or 5 o'clock that these showers and storms reach western parts of our state. And then they arrive in Baltimore right around 7. Now, I know that's post time, so far from ideal for that final race at Pimlico today. Be prepared for that. And if you are staying after for the concert, some showers will linger at that point, too. It's not until later tonight that the rain clears out with that cold front, and then coming in behind it, not much of a cool down, but we are going to enjoy some sunshine on Sunday. So bright and sunny, smooth sailing through the end of your weekend, and we are looking at another warm day, too. Warm today, despite the clouds and that shower chance later this evening. We get close to 80 degrees this afternoon, feeling nice at Pimlico today. This evening, temperatures are slow to cool because we've got the clouds and the showers, and they should wrap up late tonight. Now we'll take a look ahead at what to expect for the rest of the week in your full 7-day forecast in just a couple of minutes. Taylor?
How about a look at the traffic here? Len Stoller Traffic Network giving you a live look at the major roadways surrounding Pimlico. Everything's moving smoothly this Saturday morning. But what about your mass transit? I think we're going to use mass transit and just leave cars behind, get to the Preakness. Mark Jones with the MTA. Good morning.
Good morning, Taylor. Perfect idea. MTA is the way. Why deal with all the traffic at all? Metro Subway Link, you can take that service to the Reisterstown Plaza Metro Station and connect to a shuttle bus for a short ride to the racetrack. Light Rail Link is an option from north or south of the city. Take Light Rail Link to the Cold Spring Lane stop and Poly Western High School for a connecting shuttle bus to Pimlico. And, of course, local links 30, 31, 34, 85, 91, and 94 all stop near Pimlico. It only costs $4.60 for an all-day pass. For the MTA Transit Team, I'm Mark Jones.
All right, for many of us, this visit to the hilltop today to enjoy the excitement of the live thoroughbred racing, it's just one day, but for others, it's a year-long obsession. The Pons family has been one in our area that's been leading breeders for almost a century. Country Life Farm is now making the sport of kings attainable for the average fan through partial ownership. Our Director of Operations, Jimmy Mathis, has the story.
Country Life Farm, our home farm, this will be the 91st year this fall. My grandfather bought it in 1933, moved his family down from Long Island, kept his place not far from Belmont Park. He would commute back and forth to Long Island from Bel Air, Maryland. I'm so tickled that Maj, the Derby winner, came because he's a genuine horse. Sold at Timonium a year ago, which is really cool. And he's a poster child for the micro ownership. There's 400 owners in this horse.
Well done. Venezuelan Javier Castellano, a Derby winner.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. And my best clients come out, they participate. They come to the farm, watch the horses train. They come out to see the mares with the foals.
Hit her off.
They go to the races with us. They go to the sales. We go out of town for the races. So it's one of these kind of things where you start and where you end up. I hope we're two different places, but we had a lot of fun over the year. And it's just fun because for that 2 minutes or however long the race is, that's my horse out there. Here's my money. Oh, it's like graduation day. It's like your kid graduated kindergarten or elementary school or high school. It's fun. And what's really neat is I've got some clients who are just lucky. So I can't wait till they get these partner in certain horses because I just know something's good going to happen. Winston Churchill said, you know, there's something about the outside of a horse that's good for the inside of a person. And to paraphrase him. Oh, and what's really cool is years ago I went to business school and I went with accountants and lawyers and bankers and all those guys, and I'm the only guy doing the same job now as them.
Well, if you're heading out there today to the Preakness, we want to see how you're celebrating. Go ahead, send us a picture or video from Pimlico. Go to foxbaltimore.com/chime-in or scan that QR code right on your screen. And don't go away. Just after the break, meteorologist Amy Aronson is going to join us here at the desk and break down your 7-day forecast one more time.
9:56 on this Preakness Saturday. It is such an exciting day in Baltimore. It looks kind of quiet out there right now, but I know it's going to get so busy as the day continues. Cloudy this morning. We will see some sun pop through this afternoon, so break out the sunglasses, but then also bring a poncho if you're going to hang out later for that final race, because we've got some showers coming through at that point. And if you are sticking around for the Bruno Mars concert, you're also going to want to have it for that. We've got showers coming through tonight. Otherwise, it's warm today, upper 70s. Tomorrow looks great. So as you recover from maybe Preakness today, you can enjoy some sunshine outside, maybe get some yard work done, some gardening. Upper 70s for the end of the weekend. And the rest of the 7-day, not bad either. We've got a rain-free stretch coming up. Actually, not much to talk about here in the week ahead. Upper 70s on Monday, mid and upper 70s pretty much every single day coming up this week. And next weekend, I can't believe it, but it's the unofficial start to summer already. Memorial Day weekend is here. If you're making plans, heading to the beach right now, an early look at the weekend looks like it will be mostly dry, at least to start. Nice and warm, too. We'll spend Friday at least in the mid-70s. So I can't believe it. May is just flying by.
Yeah, here and gone.
Yeah, here and gone.
And we're in the 70s all week.
Pretty nice.
It's going to be a beautiful week. Perfect. Thank you for joining us here on the Preakness Stakes Day. And, of course, we'll be back here on Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.